So now that we've finished talking about the attributes of Kenra color, let's dive into the Kenra color portfolio. If you turn to page 7 in your color manual, you'll be able to follow along. So first I want to point out that Kenra color uses an alphanumeric system, meaning it starts with our level, our dominant color, and reflective tone. If you're used to using a decimal system or a stroke system, you'll notice that this is a bit different and, in my opinion, a bit easier. Then I want to point out over here on the side, you'll notice that we have our level chart. Starts at a level 1, goes to a level 10. You'll also notice that it goes from a level 1 to a level 3. Do you know why? It's because the human eye can't differentiate between a levels 1 and level 3. So, going through this swatch book, which by the way is lovely, I want to start off with our natural series. So with our natural series, you'll notice that in addition to our shades, we also have a P and D indicated on each level. That means that the shade comes in permanent and demi. One of the things I really love about our natural series is that it gives 100% gray coverage. And one of the reasons behind that is that each one has the appropriate amount of all 3 primary colors. You've got red, yellow, blue, in all of them. They're all calibrated for each level to have the appropriate amount so that you can formulate with confidence. And that's true for not just the natural series, but the natural brown, natural ash, and natural ultra ash as well. Speaking of those other shades, if you're wanting to cover gray and also lift at the same time, you can use our natural ash and natural ultra ash to get that lift and cancel warmth at the same time. Our natural ash is going to be a little softer versus our natural ultra ash is going to give you the coolest end result with 100% gray coverage in one tube. We also have our natural brown series, which has a brown beige reflection, as well as 100% gray coverage in one tube. Then you'll notice down at the bottom here, we have our red natural and copper natural series, and those give enhanced gray coverage. So what that means is, as opposed to full gray coverage, because the natural is the secondary reflection, that means that up to 75% gray, you're going to get that gray coverage. But beyond that, when you're in this 75 to 100% gray, you're gonna need to add in one of the N series to get that full gray coverage. But having the natural as that reflective tone in the copper and in the copper natural and the red natural series, you can have those nice vibrant red and copper colors and get gray coverage without sacrificing the vibrancy. So now we're going to move on to our ash series, and I want to jump back to the chart that we used in the beginning. So many colors will ask when looking at a color line, is your ash series green based? Is it blue based, violet based? And the answer is yes. So our ash series is calibrated for each level to have the appropriate neutralizing color for each level. For example, if you have, let's say, a level 7, which you can see right across here, 7's going to have that gold as the underlying pigment. So our ash for that is going to have a blue violet to cancel that out and give a nice true ash. So we also have, if you need a bit more coverage as far as neutralizing warmth, we have our double ash series. And our double ash series is only available in permanent color. And then if you need a little something extra, if you really want to have as cool of a shade as possible, you can actually use our silver metallics. I love adding those into my formulas if I know that a client really pulls super warm and they don't want to see any warmth. Adding a little bit of that in to the formula gives a nice cool tone. So also in our more cooler tone family, we have our red violets. We have 2 shades that come in both permanent and demi, and then we have our toners and our demi colors that we'll get into in a little bit. So now I want to jump into our warm tones, our brown beige and our brown copper. So the brown beige, we've got up into from the 4 to a 4, 5, and 6. It's got that brown tone. 7, 8, and 10. It's more of that beige tone. Our brown copper is, we have the 4 brown copper is only available in permanent, but that's going to give us that nice rich brown with a copper reflection. If you lift your client to a true level 10 and you use the 10B on them, it gives that really nice kind of creamy beige. I absolutely love using the brown beige series. It's one of my more requested tones from clients, so I love being able to play with them. You can mix and match or just use straight brown beige. So with our gold series, I know a lot of stylists are hesitant to use those really warm tones, those true golds. But the reality is not everyone looks good with a cool blonde. So I love using, especially in the darker shades, I love using the gold series. One of my favorite things is a 5G. It gives just that nice bit of depth and warmth to those brunettes who don't really want to go lighter, but they want their hair to feel lighter. And since warm tones makes the hair feel lighter versus cooler tones making it seem darker, adding that bit of warmth in those darker tones really makes a huge difference. But if you really can't convince anyone to use those warmer tones, you can have more of you can cut it with the gold brown. And again, just like with the brown beige, our GB series is also, the 5 GB is that brown, and the 8 and 9, you're gonna have that beige. So it's not going to be as warm or as gold as our G series. It's gonna be more of that gold with a little bit of violet in it. So now we're gonna move on to our even warmer tones, our coppers and our copper gold. So with the coppers, I find that it's a really true to tone copper. You get that nice orange without it being, it's like a reddish orange without it being brassy. You can mix them, match them, have fun with them. It's one of my favorite things to do is just play. With our copper gold, you're also getting that nice gold reflection, so it's not as heavy of a color. Moving on to our reds. One thing you'll notice about our reds, especially our RRs, our red reds, is that it uses both direct and indirect dyes. So you get that really true to tone red, especially for clients who want color that lasts. Especially for our RR series, our 4 and our 6 come in both permanent and demi. So you can actually get that really long lasting red color, and it fades very true to tone. With our red copper, you get that really nice rich tone as well. I love playing with my reds, using some of them as highlights, some of them as low lights to give my clients a dimensional red that makes some of the reds stand out more. So I find that playing with them like that is a really fun way to give customizable red colors. You can also, because our red options are, we have a large variety of red colors. You can also play with using a red brown. That's one of my most requested colors from my brunette clients. Is they want to have a rich tone to their hair. What that generally means is that they don't want their hair to feel flat. With dark hair, like I said before with the golds, with darker hair, if you're using cooler tones, you're going to get a flatter color. It's not going to be as reflective, but if you're add some warm tones in there, like a gold or even like a red brown, you're adding richness to the color. Think of like chocolate. When you look at like a milk chocolate, you have that warmth peeking out through it that gives it depth and dimension. Same with using the red violet. If you want a little bit of a cooler tone to it, that's a great option. So now we're going to jump into my personal favorites, the metallics. So we've got 4 options with our metallic tones. We have silver metallic, violet metallic, bronze metallic, and rose metallic. Our silver metallic has a blue reflection. Violet metallic has violet with a little bit of blue for that metallic sheen. Our bronze metallic is almost like a champagne-y color. So think about it as the cooler side of warm. So it has that little bit of violet in there. It's like violet and gold together. Unlike with the GB series, this one has a little bit more violet. And then we have our rose metallic, which has that nice rosy pink tone. You can use these on their own. You can use them mixed in with other shades to create custom tones. A couple things to keep in mind with the metallic series, they are not calibrated. So all of these are true to what they are. So what that means is the silver metallics have that, all of them, 7, 8, and 10, they all have that blue reflection. So if you don't pre-tone, let's say you lift your client to a level 10, and you don't pre-tone out the yellow, and you just put in the silver metallic, you're not going to get that true silvery tone. You're going to get almost a green reflection because you're mixing that blue in with the yellow. So it's important, especially if you want that swatch look, it's important to not only lift to that true level 9, 10, but also to pre-tone. And we'll talk about that in 1 minute. So I also want to talk about our frost shines. So these are, just like with the metallic series, you're going to want to pre-tone before you use these. We've got 4 options here as well. We have our 10 BF, that's our 10 blue, our 10 violet blue, our 10 green, and then diamond frost. So with these, again, you need to pre-tone. You can use our rapid toners to pre-tone them and then use these to mix them, play, have fun with them, and really expand your artistry. So I do want to talk about our rapid toners, which I have apparently lost somewhere in here. With our rapid toners, They process in 5 minutes or less, and I will look for them as I scroll through here. So we will imagine that they're there. With the rapid toners, you can actually pre-tone with them. They come in 4 shades. You have our silver, violet pearl. We have silver metallic, violet pearl, and beige, and then we have our green blue. And these are great to use for dimensional toning at the shampoo bowl or to pre-tone. What I mean by pre-toning is if you, let's say you lift your client for you're highlighting them, you lift them to a really nice color, but you see that they have that bit of warmth in there. One of my personal favorites is the beige toner. I love pre-toning with that, especially if I'm not going for a true ash blonde look. I want something with a little bit more warmth in it. I'll pre-tone with the beige toner and then put my my desired tone on top of that. So that's just a bit about our swatch book and our color portfolio.